amazing, man. Hope y'all having a good Thursday. This is a late night reaction, so well, it's a late night reaction, so I don't know why I'm saying that. So by the time y'all watch the video, it should be about 12 or something. So hopefully y'all have a good day. That being said, let's go ahead and get into it. This video kind of long, so.
Wadesboro, North Carolina, just west of a National Guard armory. The deceased, a scantily clad white female, estimated to have been between 20 and 40 years of age, couldn't be linked to any missing persons reports in the area. In lieu of her real name, whatever that may be, she was given the moniker Anson County Jane Doe. She was estimated to have perished at some point in 2021. Unusually, at the time of her demise, the only clothing that the woman was wearing was a black Secret Treasures bra and a pair of leggings. Her cause of death has never been officially announced. While attempting to identify the woman, the most compelling, and easily the most disturbing lead the authorities came upon, were several images captured by a trail cam close to where the Doe's remains were found. The cam had been installed in a hunting zone near the armory to monitor a deer feeder, but instead of deer, it captured these.
What was that?
Images of an unknown woman wearing the same clothes as found on the Doe's body, stumbling through the woodland on August 22nd, 2021. She was first recorded that night at 1:33 a.m., entering the frame on the right. In the next image, captured a second later as the clock struck 1:34, she isn't visible at all, suggesting that she was running at the time. She later appeared again at 4:30 and 4:31 a.m., this time hobbling in the opposite direction and using a large stick to support herself. This woman is strongly believed to be the Anson County Jane Doe, and though they didn't know why this lone female was wandering through the dense forest in the middle of the night, detectives now at least had a face to work with. Forensic investigators analyzed the images, but weren't able to draw many conclusions. It appeared as if the woman's leggings were wet above her knees, as was the lower half of her stick. That suggested that she had crossed a body of water, likely Culpeper Creek. She had perhaps slipped and hurt herself while doing so, hence the walking stick. Some theorize that she was suffering from a mental breakdown, but others have suggested an even darker possibility, that she was being held somewhere remote against her will, and with no time to get dressed, she had seized an opportunity to escape. Proponents of that theory believe that she ultimately met her end at the hands of her captor, who had somehow managed to track her down.
They be having a little bit of time to get to somebody before something happened to them. No, man. I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Whatever did become of this woman, it's truly chilling to look over these images and imagine what her final hours must have been like, wandering alone through the woods, lost in unending blackness. In February 2022, 6 months after the trail cam footage was captured, and a few months before the Doe's remains were discovered, rabbit hunters.
Oh yeah, I got the captions for y'all motherfuckers that say y'all never came here.
Stumbled upon a backpack containing an unspecified sum of cash close to the armory. They took the cash and abandoned the backpack in the forest. When news of the Doe's discovery spread, they brought the existence of the backpack to the authorities' attention. Unfortunately, to this day, that backpack hasn't been found. Despite providing relatively clear images of the Doe's face, the trail cam footage didn't result in any new leads. At least, none that the authorities have publicly announced. And that's the thing. Local law enforcement have remained unusually tight-lipped about this whole case, not releasing a description of the woman's remains, her cause of death, the color of her hair, or even a description of the missing backpack. No major news outlets have reported on the story either, and it feels to many as if little's being done to solve this case. As one anonymous local resident put it, "I sure hope I never go missing in Anson County." In conjunction with these creepy images, it's that silence that's fueled so much online interest in this story. With so many questions and so few answers, the Doe's identity has become a huge topic of discussion here on YouTube, over on Reddit, and, perhaps most importantly, on Facebook.
So college isn't for everyone. Imagine, with 6 months of intensive weld training and certifications, you have a 94% chance of landing a very well-paying job right out of the gate. So there's actually a huge gap in what industry...
I was kind of...
Attempt to Locate is a Facebook group with 123,000 followers. A place for users to share photos related to UIDs, or unidentified decedents, and attempt to link them to the case files of missing persons. And, while discussing these images of Anson County Jane Doe, several users brought up this woman. Amber Ray Johnston, a 36-year-old mother from Harvey County, Arizona, one who's been missing since August 2021. To quote her page on missingpersonscenter.org, Amber was last seen in Bullhead City in August 2021.
Bullhead!
She left all her personal belongings at her apartment. Her boyfriend left around that same time and went to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Amber was supposed to take a bus to Myrtle Beach on August 16th.
I gotta go back there. I ain't gonna count. I gotta go back. I ain't have a
In her last
disappearance
Facebook
anyway.
post on August 19th, she streamed live from a bus before getting off at Winston-Salem. She hasn't been heard from since, and it's not clear whether she arrived in Myrtle Beach or not. Curiously, Amber's food stamp card was used by another woman after her disappearance. The woman, when contacted, said Amber's boyfriend had sold her the card.
Oh.
In the months prior to her disappearance, Amber had been using drugs and acting paranoid. Her case remains unsolved, and the circumstances are unclear.
Damn.
Amber Johnston bears an undeniable resemblance to the woman captured on the trail cam, and the date of her last correspondence lines up perfectly with when the footage was recorded.
Oh, yeah.
This lead has since been brought to the authorities' attention.
That's
But it's yet to
definitely
be confirmed whether Amber truly is the Doe or not. Given just
Don't they got tits and shit? That's definitely her though. I ain't gonna lie. That's definitely her. Not gonna lie to y'all.
how much attention this case has received as of late,
Small
I
detail.
wager that the local authorities will dedicate more resources to identifying her, and that she'll be given her name back in the near future. Until then, Anson County Jane remains one of the USA's 14,000 unidentified decedents.
14.
I'll be sure to keep you all posted about any breakthroughs on my social media accounts.
14? 14,000? 14,000 is fucking crazy.
This is the last known photo of Snahanshu Sharma.
Fuck the dumb shit. 14,000?
A smart and cheerful 8-year-old boy from Hooghly, West Bengal. As reported by India Today, the boy met his end on February 16th, 2024, when he accidentally witnessed his mother, Shanta Sharma, in a, quote, compromising position with her secret lesbian partner, Ifat Parveen. Snahanshu became distraught when he saw his mother betraying his father. Little did he realize that his father, Pankaj, already knew about his wife's secret love affair, which had been going on since before they got married, but he had chosen to keep silent about
Damn,
it.
that's crazy.
Shanta tried to persuade her son to keep quiet too, but even after talking things over with him, she and Dishrat feared that he might reveal their secret to someone.
We might.
Although lesbian relationships are legal in India, in certain areas they're considered extremely taboo and socially unacceptable. Terrified of a social backlash that could ruin their lives, both Shanta and Ifat did the unthinkable.
Anybody be mad?
Together,
Husband.
they pinned Snahanshu down, stabbed him several times with a vegetable knife so forcefully that the blade bent, and struck him in the head with an iron rod and a stone idol.
What?
They did all this while the boy's father, Pankaj, was at work, and when the only witness at the home was the family dog, Shadow. However, when Snahanshu's cousin came over and discovered the boy's lifeless body inside the home, investigators were quickly summoned and were able to identify his killers.
Wait a fucking minute. So you killed your own son to hide your relationship with another female? What the fuck?
Shanta and Ifat's mobile data placed them inside the house with Snahanshu at the time his life came to an end, as did surveillance footage captured by a neighbor. Forensic experts also found traces of Snahanshu's vital fluid on both of their clothes and on the stone idol inside the family home. They were arrested 4 days after the slaying, at which point Shanta confessed to taking her son's life out of fear of social embarrassment and ostracization.
I'd rather be embarrassed.
Deputy Commissioner Biswas stated to the media, "The relationship between Shanta and Ifat was an old one. They used to talk on the phone for hours past midnight. Based on multiple pieces of evidence, we zeroed in on these two women. Shanta was arrested from her home, and Ifat from hers." Both women are currently being held in police custody, awaiting their trial. Snahanshu's father is calling for his wife and her partner to be hanged.
Please. Please. I beg you.
You know, they say in order to remember something, you have to forget something else.
I beg you, Lord. Let them be that. Let them be that. Please. I can't rewind it. I can't
On
say
September 20th, 2022, Emma Brown, age 12,
I can't say what he just said. I can't rewind. I ain't gonna rewind it back. What he just said, please do it. Please let the judge have it in his heart to do it.
was firing guns with her father, Daniel Brown, at their home in Poolville, Texas. Daniel ran a firearms business, and Emma had grown up around guns and ammo. That afternoon, the pair posed together for a photo before their joint target practice. What Daniel didn't know in that moment was that his daughter had other plans in mind,
Oh shit.
which he had morbidly hinted at by wearing a Harry Potter t-shirt with the quote, "I solemnly swear that I am up to no good." The 7th grader had secretly been planning a murder pact with an online friend. Both girls had mutually agreed to take out their entire families, including...
And that's why you don't put no gun in no kid in. No matter how bad you got them trained. Because at any point of the time, they can do anything that they want to do. Hey, they can go commit a school, you know what I'm saying, and shoot the people and not miss nan target. Because you taught a killer at 12, I don't know how old she is, but I'm going to just say 12 or 13 years old. Nigga, I wouldn't even... I'm lying. I'm going to shut up and criminate myself.
Their pets before running away together. According to chat logs, Emma planned to steal her parents' car, pick up her accomplice, and drive 230 miles to Georgia.
Hey, don't be coming down
Shortly
here.
after this image was taken, Emma intentionally fired a shot.
Hey, don't bring your ass down here to Georgia. You tripping. 230 miles? I don't even want to drive 230 miles. The Don't bring your ass to Georgia. Wherever you at, stay here. Stay there. Don't come down here with the bullshit. We're going to see your ass right back where you came from. If you go to the right people. Send your ass right back where you came from.
Her father's abdomen. After incapacitating her father,
Hey, my little
Emma
nigga
took off down the
quiet.
driveway and walked about 100 yards down the
Switches
road.
and everything. Put it on your
For
ass.
whatever reason, she aborted her plan, and instead of making her way to Georgia, fired a single shot into her own head. Officers later arrived at the scene and found Emma lying in the dirt road. She passed away 2 days later in our local hospital.
Oh, damn.
Her father, Daniel, survived his injuries. Emma's partner in crime, who also happened to be a 7th grader, was picked up by the authorities at her home in Lufkin and was charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Thankfully, she had either backed out of their mutual pact or never intended to go through with the plan in the first place, as her family were unharmed. She was fully prosecuted and sentenced in March 2023.
How many
Neither
years?
her name nor her sentence have been revealed to the public due to her age, and it's unclear how she and Emma had met, or why they both intended to eliminate their families and run off together.
Craziest thing I ever heard. The one about the kid and the secret, that was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm still pissed off about it. And
Icon Park's Orlando Freefall was touted by its operators as the tallest freestanding drop tower in the world. The attraction lifted riders in a gondola 430 feet above the ground, before inclining the seats forward 30 degrees and plunging them into a freefall, breaking 100 feet above the ground. Riders were only meant to experience a 4G thrill, a mild stomach upset, and a few laughs. But on March 24th, 2022, things ended very differently for one park guest. Tyree Sampson was just 14 when he fell to his demise from the Orlando Freefall drop tower.
y'all know how I am reacting to shit. I'm gonna say some shit if I seen it. I'm gonna just say I seen it because this actually went viral. Was it last year? Or the year before? But Man, the actual video I seen on Twitter, oh wow, that's paralyzed. I mean, not paralyzed, but
The
traumatized me.
adolescent, originally from St. Louis, had been on vacation in Florida with his family and a friend. When he and his buddy made it to the front of the line for the drop tower, staff were immediately concerned with the boy's size. The tower's manual specified a weight limit of 287 pounds for the ride. Tyree, who stood at 6'5" and weighed 383 pounds, was too large to fit safely into the seat. As such, the harness sensor in Tyree's seat had to be manually adjusted, loosened, and then tightened again, creating a larger gap than normal between his harness and the seat.
Oh no.
The young attendant assisting Tyree had only been working at the park for 3 days, was still technically a trainee, and believed that because the adjustment had made the indicator light turn green, that it was safe to proceed with the ride. Moments before the ride was activated, Tyree could tell that something wasn't right, and reportedly said to his friend beside him, "I don't know, man. If I don't make it down safely, can you please tell my mama and daddy that I love them?"
Oh hell no, I would've
This
got off.
photo shows Tyree seconds before the gondola began to rise. The shoulder bar was noticeably looser than his fellow riders. After the ride reached its target height of 430 feet, Tyree began to panic, realizing that he wasn't properly secured. But by that point, it was too late.
Definitely.
The ride went into freefall.
R.I.P. man.
The brakes applied, and because of the G-force, Tyree was effectively sucked through the gap in his harness and hurtled to the concrete, smashing into the ground head first. He died shortly after impact.
Yeah, I don't want to see that video.
Video footage of this incident exists, but for obvious reasons, I don't recommend seeking it out. The visuals, and in particular, the sound, are absolutely soul-crushing.
It is.
Even worse, when viewing it, it's apparent that nobody immediately helped the boy, and park employees can be heard trying to pass the blame. A lawsuit filed by Tyree's family claimed that there were no visible weight limits or scales at the ride location. "After learning the details of what happened, I can't help but wonder, why wasn't he turned away?" said Tyree's mother. "He'd been refused on other rides, so why not this one?" "I understand he's a child. He insisted on riding with his friend. I get that. But as an adult, or a ride attendant, that decision should have been made. His feelings might have been hurt, but he would still be here with me."
Facts.
His family filed a wrongful death suit against the owners of the amusement park and settled for an undisclosed amount. The ride has since been dismantled.
They need to ban that shit in general.
The new one is here.
That shit, hell no.
Now in all new colors, like gray and
I
up.
don't even think I've been in no fair since that shit happened.
On July 6, 2023, 2 students disappeared from India's northeastern state of Manipur. Hijanlin Gambi, a 17-year-old Methi Hindu, had been attending tutorials that morning and was later captured on CCTV riding on a motorbike with her friend, Fijan Himanjit, age 20. When both youngsters failed to return home that evening, their families reported them missing. For over 2 months, their whereabouts and well-being remained a mystery. Both sets of parents clung on to hope that their children will be found alive or not. That is, until late September, when this photo went viral on social media.
I can't go. I can't have my mother think 2 months without me gone. Somebody try to kidnap me, boy, they gonna have a fight on their hands. I'm going out soon. They gonna have to kill me right there, and I swear to God, I'm not just talking. They gonna have to kill me right there. I swear to God, I'm going out without a fight. I'm going out with. Y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Shit.
The image shows couples of students seated together in an outdoor wooded area. Evelyn Gambi wears a mask and looks directly at the camera with a scared expression, while Himanjit's gaze is averted and empty. 2 armed individuals, their captors, can be observed in the background. Members of the rival Kuki Christian community who had forced the 2 students into one of their trucks at gunpoint. In May of 2023, violence had erupted between the Metis people, who make up the majority of those living in the Yangpal Valley region of Manipur, and the Kukiso tribal community, who call the surrounding hills home. The Kuki people have long complained about feeling marginalized and persecuted by the Metis, who hold more sway with the state government, and tensions came to a boiling point when the Metis demanded official tribal status, which would allow them to buy land and settle in predominantly Kuki areas. To date, Approximately 200 people have been killed during the conflict, more than 1,000 injured, 60,000 displaced, and countless women essayed and publicly humiliated.
What the fuck?
It's safe to say that atrocities have been committed by both sides. Now, I'm by no means an expert, but from my understanding, the Kukis have a legitimate grievance with how the state government favors Métis people. However, in this case, Kuki militants seem to have taken their frustrations out on two innocent young people
I hate
and
that.
decided to make an example out of them. By the time this image had surfaced online, the conflict had become so inflamed that curfews and internet blackouts were ordered. Another blackout was issued after it was posted too, leading many to hope that peaceful negotiations may result in Ngambi and Himachith's safe release. But when normal internet services returned on September 25th, a second picture began circulating online. One that showed the bodies of the two students lying in a pit. They were wearing the same clothes as seen in this image, and it's believed that they were executed mere moments after it was taken,
Damn.
likely as revenge against the Métis.
You got
Hicham Shanti Kumar, Ngambi's uncle, revealed that these images had broken the poor girl's mother. She's devastated and faints every few minutes, he stated. She had been anxiously awaiting any news of her daughter's safety, of her return. We had to show her the images to accept that she will never return. Never. The government has utterly failed. There is no governance here. For the past 3 months, they've suspended the internet. Without internet, we'd have never learned about their deaths.
Hey, rip it down.
During a protest held in Yampal, thousands of students rallied to demand justice for Ngambi and Himachith. At least 45 protesters sustained injuries following clashes with the authorities, who'd applied tear gas and fired rubber pellets. I want to assure the people that both the state and central government are closely collaborating to apprehend the culprits, Chief Minister Singh stated on Twitter. On October 1st, 2023, 4 adults were arrested in connection with the slaying of the students. 2 men, Ponyan Halkip and Smolsom Halkip, and 2 women, Linajong Baitakuki and Tinaling Henpan. If found guilty, they'll face the death penalty for taking the lives of 2 young, innocent students caught up in the crossfire of a conflict that they didn't start, that they didn't participate in, and that they didn't ask for.
2 innocent people. 2 innocent people.
Have you ever been declined for a credit card due to poor credit? Download Self. It's a new way to build credit.
That shit crazy, bro. These stories is blowing me. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all.
Darren Charles Mitchell, 21, was a National Guardsman and father from Navasota, Texas. May 26, 2016 was a torrentially rainy day in that part of the Lone Star State, and as Darren travelled down Highway 105, just outside of Brenham, his truck became trapped in flash floodwater, which washed out the road. He clambered out into the bed of the vehicle and called his brother to let him know the situation, that he was trapped, but still alive. But the floodwater continued to rise at an alarming rate. A high percentage of flood-related fatalities come from being hit by debris, and so, perhaps fearing being struck or washed away, Darren clambered back into the driver's side seat. Shortly thereafter, at 6:29 p.m., he posted this photo to his Facebook page. The caption read, "All I wanted to do was go home." But Darren would never get to go home again. Moments after uploading this photo, his vehicle became fully submerged. One local resident, Rashondo Smith, watched in horror as Darren's truck was swept away by the water. All of a sudden, he got back in his truck, and like maybe 10-15 minutes after that, it just flipped and he topsided into the water.
Damn.
It just disappeared. You didn't see tires, his truck, nothing. The following morning, Darren's body was found downstream in Kirkendall Creek. He was far from the only person who lost their life during that flood. Layla Holland, 64, drowned when floodwaters consumed her home.
R.I.P. man.
Jimmy Wayne Schaefer, 49, was swept away in his vehicle. Florida Malema, 23, drowned in her car. And Kirali Minatia, 59, was found lifeless in Yekwa Creek.
I only seen one flood in my lifetime, and that was when I was like 9 to 10, bro. That's the last flood I've seen down here in Georgia. Where I'm at. That's the last time I ever seen a flood. Last time. That was like 2009, 10. That's a long time ago.
On October 22nd, 1999, 60-year-old Santa Barbara resident Jan Davis attempted a base...
But I'm a couple more days for my birthday, 27. I would have been born on the 27th, 1999. I offered to be born. That's crazy.
From El Capitan in Yosemite Park. Davis's jump was part of an organized civil act of disobedience, protesting new regulations which made base jumping illegal in Yosemite without a permit. By leaping from El Capitan, the group hoped to prove a simple point: that base jumping was completely safe and that it shouldn't be outlawed. The protest was organized in reaction to the drowning death of fellow jumper Frank Gambaldi III on June 9th. Frank had successfully parachuted from El Capitan, but drowned in the river below while attempting to escape from rangers, ones who were staking out the mountain to catch jumpers breaking the new regulation. Jan was the fourth of 5 jumpers who had gathered at the top of El Cap to attempt the jump. The first 3 successfully executed their jumps and received cheers from the 150 or so onlookers at ground level. These jumpers were subsequently taken into custody by rangers stationed at the bottom of the mountain. But they all anticipated this. Jan herself had even dressed in an inmate's outfit, mocking what she considered a ridiculous regulation. At approximately 1:20 p.m., it was her turn to step up to the plate. An experienced jumper who had performed stunts in movies like Waterworld and Congo, Jan showed no signs of fear as she shimmied up to the edge of El Cap. One of her fellow protesters gave her a 10-second countdown, and with a shout of 3, 2, 1, see ya ringing in her ears, Daredevil Jan flung herself over the edge of the 3,200-foot mountain. Initially, all appeared well, but onlookers grew concerned when she didn't deploy her chute at the recommended altitude. "Pull, woman," muttered the cameraman as he watched her falling towards the rocks below at full speed. "Dude, she's got problems, man," he said a few seconds later. Jan fell for over 15 seconds before striking the terrace slope at the cliff's base. She died on impact. Investigators later found out that Jan was jumping with borrowed gear, fearing that the rangers would confiscate hers upon her arrest. Trouble was, Jan usually pulled the cord on her back. On the borrowed jumpsuit, the cord was on her leg. This likely led to confusion mid-jump, and unfortunately, spelled her doom. Base jumpers argue that by prohibiting the activity, rangers are forcing hobbyists to take unnecessary risks, such as jumping in low light and using all the gear that they don't mind being confiscated. But rangers argue that the community's readiness to break their own rules is exactly why base jumping can't be allowed.
Bitch come pay me a no money to do this shit right here. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Shit like this, I'd be extra careful.
Ironically, Jan's protest jump served to highlight their point. Although base jumping is still banned in Yosemite to this day, hang gliding is permitted 1 day a week from Glacier Point. The hang gliding community have always been very compliant with the regulations, said Yosemite spokesperson Scott Gediman, whereas the base jumpers have not.
That is fucking crazy. Lazy boy, hey, I ain't gonna lie, I was asleep on lazy, y'all. I gotta start reacting more often. Y'all like this, depending on how this video go, and depending on how the likes and the views and shit go, I might react to them again, because I like it. Even though these stories blew the fuck out of me, especially that story about the one when she killed her son because she didn't want the secret to go out. Bitch, your husband already knew. What other secret was it? I don't understand. But anyway, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe. See y'all on the next video. Let's ride, man.